Okay, let's unpack this. We often talk about those huge moments in sports, the World Cup final win, massive pressure. But what happens when that kind of spotlight, that single victory, actually becomes the key to unlocking a family from a decade? A really quiet, grinding struggle.
It's an incredible intersection, isn't it? Where huge public success meets very personal, long-standing hardship.
Exactly. And that's the story we're diving into today. It's about Kranti Gaud. She's a 22-year-old fast bowler from Madhya Pradesh. Yes, she was instrumental in India winning the Women's ODI World Cup in 2025, a huge achievement. But this story goes deeper. Her performance, well, it became this literal lifeline for her family, a way to finally push for an end to this 12-year bureaucratic nightmare they'd been living.
Right. It's more than just the scorecard.
Oh, definitely. So our mission here is to really dig into the sources, understand how this happened, how a win on the cricket pitch translated into real movement in government halls in Bhopal, specifically on one key day, Friday, November 7th, 2025.
And to really get it, you have to understand where she comes from, the background. Kranti's from Ghuwara village. It's in the Chhatarpur district. That's Bundelkhand.
Right, Bundelkhand. Known for being pretty tough, economically speaking. Limited opportunities.
Exactly. Rugged terrain, not a lot of industry. And she was the youngest of 6 kids.
6 siblings. Wow.
Yeah. So resources were likely stretched thin even before the main problem started.
And that problem, that's the core conflict here, isn't it? It goes way back.
It does. Way back to 2012, her father, Munna Singh Gaud, he was a police constable.
Okay.
And back in 2012, he got suspended. The allegation was some kind of lapse during election duty.
12 years ago. So Kranti would have been just, 10 years old?
About that, yeah. And the crucial thing is, it wasn't like a major crime or anything. It was framed as an administrative issue. But the suspension just lingered. It wasn't resolved. It cast this huge shadow over the family for over a decade.
A decade of administrative limbo. That's brutal for a family relying on that income.
Brutal is the word. It forced them into basically survival mode. His income wasn't fully there, the stability was gone, and this defined her whole adolescence.
You see this sometimes, right? Bureaucratic processes that just stall, and families get caught in the gears.
Yeah, absolutely.
Paralyzing.
So how on earth did they manage, fast bowling that requires specialized coaching, equipment, travel? How did they fund that with this financial cloud hanging over them?
Well, it came down to pure, raw sacrifice. Really. Her mother, Neelam Singh Gaud, she basically held everything together, emotional and somehow financially. And her older brothers, this is incredible, they took jobs as daily wage laborers, even worked as bus conductors.
Really? Just to keep things afloat?
Not just afloat. The money they earned from those grueling, low-paying jobs, that's what paid for Kranti's early coaching. That's what got her the equipment, got her to the trials. They were pooling whatever they could scrape together.
So the family essentially bet everything, their survival even, on her talent, on her right arm. You could absolutely say that. It puts her performance in a whole new light, doesn't it?
It really does. That fire you see on the pitch. It wasn't just competitive spirit. It sounds like it was fueled by a decade of sheer grit and family determination.
And despite all that pressure, all that instability, she channeled it, became this genuinely fierce pacer.
Yeah, the reports mention her speed consistently hitting 120 kilometers per hour. That's serious pace.
Serious pace. And you have to give credit to her coach, Rajiv Berthar. He clearly saw that raw talent, forged in adversity, and helped shape it.
It's an amazing story of talent finding a way, isn't it?
It really is. And that talent propelled her pretty quickly onto the national scene. By July of 2025, she was already spearheading India's bowling attack.
Setting the stage for that huge moment.
The World Cup.
The Women's ODI World Cup 2025. India lifts the trophy for the first time ever in this format. And Kranti was right at the heart of it.
Absolutely central. She took 9 crucial wickets throughout the tournament. These weren't just numbers on a sheet. They were often game-changing moments.
Turning points. Cementing her place.
Definitely. And the second that trophy was lifted, you could feel the energy shift back home. It created this immediate momentum, socially, politically.
Tell me about that. What happened back in Madhya Pradesh?
Well, there was this victory parade. It went through Chhatarpur. And the sources describe it as, more than just a celebration. It was emotional. People lining the streets, waving the Indian flag, chanting her name.
Like a local hero returning?
Exactly. But maybe even more. Like her victory was their victory too. A moment of collective pride, especially for Bundelkhand. A kind of catharsis,
And that collective feeling, that momentum, that's what carried the weight of her family's private struggle right into the halls of power.
Precisely. Which brings us to that critical meeting in Bhopal, Friday, November 7th, 2025.
Okay, let's focus on this. This wasn't just a quick handshake and a photo, was it?
Not at all. It was an official recognition ceremony. And the setting matters. It was buzzing with young athletes from the State Sports Academy, hopeful faces looking up to her.
And Kranti was there with
her parents, Munna Singh and Neelam Singh, the people who'd lived through the whole ordeal. And her coach, Rajeev Birthar, was there too. She was receiving honors from the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Mohan Yadav.
Right. And this is where the conversation shifted.
It did. The CM moved beyond just congratulations. He addressed the family's situation directly, publicly.
That's significant. What did he say? The sources mention specifics.
Yeah, they quote him speaking to the family, saying something like, "I've heard about your struggles," acknowledging it openly. And then he made a promise, a public vow regarding her father's case.
What was the vow exactly? This is the crucial part.
He promised a clear path to appeal to the state government. He said they would, and this is the important bit, move forward to reinstate your father following every rule in the book.
Following every rule in the book. Okay, that wording is interesting. It doesn't sound like he was just waving a magic wand and overturning the suspension on the spot.
No, absolutely not. And that's the key insight here. A CM can't just unilaterally undo a formal suspension like that, legally.
So what was he doing? Applying political pressure.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
By making that public promise, by acknowledging the family's struggle and tying it to Kranti's massive public victory, he was creating a public mandate for review. That decade-old file, stuck somewhere in the bureaucratic machine, it instantly shot to the top of the pile.
Ah, okay. So the World Cup win became political currency.
Exactly. It provided the necessary weight, the public pressure, to cut through years of administrative inertia. It wasn't an instant pardon, but it was a very public assurance of accelerated justice.
So here's where it gets really powerful, I think. The biggest win wasn't just the trophy for India. It was that this win seemed to finally offer a fix for that decade of instability for her family.
It retroactively started to heal that long-standing wound.
It almost suggests that sometimes maybe the only way to get swift justice against entrenched bureaucracy is, well, to become a global sports hero.
It's a stark thought, isn't it? And the impact didn't stop just with that promise about her father.
Right. The state seemed to move quickly to capitalize on this moment, culturally, too.
Yes. The chief minister announced a special tribute event specifically for Kranti. It was scheduled for November 15th in Jabalpur.
And that date, November 15th, that wasn't just random, was it? There's some symbolism there.
No, not random at all. It coincides with the state-level celebrations for Bhagwan Birsa Munda Jayanti.
Birsa Munda, the tribal icon, the freedom fighter.
Exactly. Known for his fight against overwhelming odds, his struggle for justice. So by timing Kranti's tribute that way, the state was deliberately drawing a parallel.
Comparing her fight, her unyielding spirit against this long family struggle, to his historic fight. That's powerful messaging.
Very powerful. And it wasn't just symbolic. They backed it up with concrete plans. Investment.
What kind of investment?
To make sure Kranti's story isn't just a one-off, they announced plans for a brand new cricket stadium. Right there in her home district, Chhatarpur.
In Bundelkhand, that's significant.
Hugely. Equipped with proper facilities designed specifically to find and nurture the next generation of talent, the raw speed, the spin from those often overlooked areas.
So, building a legacy, creating a pathway, so maybe the next Kranti Gaud doesn't need a World Cup win just to get her family a fair shake.
That seems to be the hope. Systemic change, potentially.
And fittingly, back at that event in Bhopal, Kranti herself was already playing that role, wasn't she?
Yeah, the image described is her talking with the young girls from the sports academy. They were apparently wide-eyed, just soaking it in.
And she wasn't just accepting praise.
No, she was sharing her story, telling them apparently to chase dreams without a backward glance, passing on that resilience.
Wow, what a journey.
So if you connect all the dots, look at the bigger picture. This story, it's more than just a great sports story or a successful appeal finally happening. It really shows how these huge moments, these global triumphs in sport, can sometimes act as these vital lifelines. They can create possibilities, force action in places that are often forgotten, and literally pull families back from the brink.
Yeah, her success didn't just shape her future. It seems like it actually began to mend her family's past.
It's quite profound.
So what's the takeaway here? For me, it feels like in a country like India, where cricket is just, it's woven into the fabric of life, right?
Mm-hmm. A heartbeat.
Kranti's story is this powerful reminder that the wins that really matter The life-changing ones, they often echo way beyond the boundary ropes. They can force resolutions, change lives in fundamental ways.
We've seen her performance literally change her family's destiny.
Oh,
But it does leave you with a bit of a challenging question, doesn't it?
how so?
Well, think about it. If achieving the absolute pinnacle of global sport is what it takes for a family to get justice for, essentially, a decade-old bureaucratic error,
Care.
what does that say about the system? What's the real cost of opportunity and maybe the state of administrative accountability, especially for talent rising out of underserved regions like Bundelkhand?
That's a heavy thought. That maybe extraordinary success is required just to achieve ordinary justice sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely something to mull over maybe the next time you're watching a big victory celebration.
Yeah.
What else might be riding on that win?